Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's program. Happy 4th of July, by the way. Had a great weekend. Hope you guys had a great weekend as well. I want to welcome you to the Plane Talk tonight. I'm going to be your host, Todd Graves, here with Graves Golf Academy to basically get into a lot of questions and answer. We had quite a few questions that we asked you for that you've given us tonight. We're going to answer those questions tonight, and I want to go through as many of those as I can and answer your questions about the single plane swing or any other questions you have about the golf swing. Before I get going though, I have a couple of announcements. Let's talk about our school schedule. Those of you who are interested in our upcoming schools, let's take a look at the school schedule real quick. Tristan, I got a weird, there you go. Upcoming schools, obviously there's one going on this week here in Oklahoma City. We have it down there. I saw the guys today. That's the 3-day premier school that's going on right now. There's also one right now going on in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So those people, actually, how many people in the school? Like 15 down there today. So that was great. Upcoming schools. This weekend, I am teaching the bio school. It's a last minute thing, but if you guys are interested in the bio school, I put sensors on you and teach you the positions of the single plane swing in our bio school this weekend. I'll be teaching that Friday through Sunday. We have 3 spots left. I saw that. There's a couple spots available in that one. And then we got July 16th. There's a playing school here in Oklahoma City. That one looks like it's sold out. The July 22nd to 24th, we have another 3-day school in Atlanta, Georgia. And then you can look down the list here. August, we got a playing school back here in Oklahoma City. By the way, we're at the Graves Golf Performance Center here. We have our full driving range, short game area, practice area, the training center, and a 6-hole golf course you train at while you're here. So you're always welcome to come to the Oklahoma City location. September, got some big events coming up in September. We got Premier School. That's in Orlando, by the way, in September. We have one here in September, the 23rd, 24th, and then we have the 25th, 26th. If you're interested in any of these schools, go to gravesgolf.com/search/events. Check out that link down there and learn more about our golf schools. So we always have a long list of schools for you guys to show up to. They kind of sell out really about 3 weeks before the school. So if you're interested in any of those, you might want to check out and hop in one of those programs. Now, let's talk about a couple of things that are going on here. And what I do here at the Academy, obviously, I spend a lot of time with you, people online, instructing, talking about the single plane swing, answering lots of questions inside of our Single Plane Academy. If you're not a member of our Single Plane Academy, it doesn't cost anything to be a member of our Single Plane Academy. If somebody can hop in the chat, I don't know, Scott, are you on the chat right there? Tristan, can you throw the chat up for me? Okay. So if you go to hop in the chat, Scott's going to put a link. You should join the Single Plane Academy. I do lots of announcements in there. I'll go hop in there live. The last couple of days I've been going in there talking about the single plane swing. You see the event we're having tonight. This is the Plane Talk event. I do these type of events periodically throughout the week just because I have a little extra time. I go hop in the Single Plane Academy. If you're not a member, hop in there and you'll get notified that we're doing a live event. You can hop in there. There's no charge to be a member. You just got to hop in and become a member of the Single Plane Academy to see some of those events. So if you're interested in doing that. By the way, I do have a chat up here on the screen. If you have questions or you want to just say hello or whatever, make sure you put your information in the chat. I'll even ask you some questions tonight, and you can maybe give me some feedback as well. So thank you for joining us in the chat tonight. Now let's talk about a couple of things. One of the things that I want you to understand about what I do here at Graves Golf is I focus heavily on simplifying your golf swing. One of the beautiful things about Graves Golf and the single plane swing is we have a model. One of the discussions I was having with a student recently is how important it is to have a model. I was lucky enough to have met Mo Norman, but prior to meeting Mo, I was probably where most of you are, maybe all of you are right now, and the reason you're here is because you have been looking for a better way to play golf, an easier way. You're looking for some solutions. And so I'll ask you some questions in the chat. How many of you right now, what have you done? And I'm going to ask for some answers here. What have you done to this point to try to get better at golf? Have you taken lessons? Put down lessons. Have you been going online looking for some solutions, maybe researching the swing? Have you read a bunch of books? Have you gone to the Golf Channel? Have you gone to your local pro and asked him for help? What have you done? Put it in the chat there. Tell me what you've been doing to get better at golf. Because I'm going to tell you right now that whatever you put in that chat right now is exactly what I was doing. I tell people that no one has spent more money than me on golf instruction, right? Nobody. Because back before I met Mo Norman, I was traveling around the world looking for the best instructors, trying to find a better way to play golf, working with the best instructors at the time in the world. Yeah, Dale, all of that. People are saying all of that. Right. Because we're on this search to get better at golf. And here's the thing about it. I'm gonna make a couple points to you tonight. Then I'm gonna show you a couple things on the whiteboard here. There is only one way you're gonna get better at hitting a golf ball. Now let's separate hitting a golf ball from scoring. Obviously, if you hit a golf ball well, you score better. But right now, I wanna focus on you hitting a golf ball better. There's only one way that anybody can help you hit a golf ball better. And it's not from doing the same thing you've been doing over and over again. It's not from the same thing. You wouldn't be here if you had the answers. And because I'm here, I'm where you are. I'm in your shoes. There's only one way to get better is change the positions you're in your swing. That's the only way. I must change the positions that you're in when you swing. How many of you would agree with that? Give me a thumbs up. Because obviously the positions you're currently in are only working to a certain level, right? So if I'm gonna make you better, I've got to change those. Let's talk about that, because this is exactly what happened to me. Not only did I change the positions of my golf swing, but I changed the way I learned it as well, and the way I practice. And to this day, I'll make you a promise. Everybody here, how many of you, give me a number one if this is your first time to come to Plain Talk. Give me a number one. I'll make you a promise tonight. And the promise I'm going to make you is that if you will follow the things I talk about tonight, if you follow what I'm talking about tonight, this will be the most important and the last golf instruction you'll ever need. It will lead you on a path to better golf if you'll do what I say. Just that's my promise to you, if you'll follow what I say. So I see a lot of ones coming in, so we got some new people here, so that's great. Okay, so number one, I want to put this on my whiteboard. Number one, I want to present to you a model, right? A model. Now, here's what's so important about a model is that, number one, it needs to be a simple model. And in what I'm going to teach you tonight, it's based on biomechanics. It's a biomechanical model, the way the body works, a natural model, the way you naturally work. I'll show you some things about that tonight. We want a simple model that's repeatable, not something complicated, not something hard. I'm going to show you that. So we want a simple model, right? And our model is a single plane swing. Okay, so I'll show you that tonight. We'll go through that, single plane, and those are the questions tonight I'll be answering about the single plane swing. So that's the first thing. And number two, let's say, for example, I give you a perfect swing model, right? That'd be great. Okay, I'm gonna do that. The second most important thing is teach you how to learn it. Would you agree? If I can show you those two things, show you a simple way to practice, a simple swing, if I can show you that and show you the absolute best way to learn it, because it'll produce the third result. It'll speed up the learning process. Okay, that's number three. And then number four, it'll be the only thing you ever need to do to ever keep getting better is the process of this. Because here's the problem that you have. The problem that you have is that you're seeing random information, random instruction, tips and tricks, things you find on YouTube. Who knows what you're learning? Your pro says one thing, you watch another thing on TV, you see some pro doing something, you grab it strong, you grab it weak, you tilt certain ways. All the things you're trying out there, you're out of process. There's no rhyme or reason. So you keep guessing at this. I want to solve that tonight. So this is what I'm going to do with you tonight. I'm going to basically show you a model, single plane swing. I'm going to show you a very simple process to learn it, and that'll help you speed up this whole learning process. If that's what you guys want, I think that's why you're here. That's what I'm going to deliver for you tonight. Okay, let's talk about the single plane swing. And then what I'll do is, let me go through the swing methodology here. Let me talk about the swing, talk about it. then is it okay if I answer some questions after I talk about it? Okay, then I'll answer some of the questions because we got a bunch. Then I'll go through how to learn it, and then we'll answer a few more questions. Okay, so let's talk about the single point swing. How many of you, give me a one, if you learned the conventional swing, or you're currently learning the conventional swing, or you've ever taken lessons learning the conventional golf swing? Just give me a one. I want to see how many people out there are taking lessons or have taken lessons. I mean, I was one of those guys 2 years ago. So give me some of those ones down there. That's Bob Gertie. I see Bob Gertie in there. I can see you guys in the chat, by the way. When you learn the conventional swing, okay, you're basically learning one very consistent fundamental with the conventional swing. And it looks like this. And you guys can tell me, give me ones if this makes sense to you. What you're learning is, they call it the athletic position, is to stand, hang your arms straight down below your shoulders, right? And then grab the club. And if you look at me, because I'm right down the line from you now, you're seeing the arms are hanging down on one plane and the club shaft is on another. So, looks conventional, right? Now, that's what you've learned. It's what everybody learns. The problem with this address is that when you put your body and the club into motion and you start swinging, there's a lot of mass on the club, that when you start coming down, the club is going to try to line up. Because it's moving around the body, this mass is going to try to align with the arms that are swinging it. But the problem you have is that because you've created this angle between the arms and the club, you are too close to the object you're hitting. You're too close to the ball. So now, when this mass swings out, I've got to make space because it's trying to line up with my arms. And now I've got to turn and lift and basically create some space so you see a lifting and a rotation of the body. That's why you see people lifting their body, their leg straightens up. And by the way, this is where you see a lot of back pain. So how many of you have back problems? I mean, you don't have to put any, you don't have to tell me in the chat, but some of you have back problems. Statistically speaking, over 50% of people that play golf at some point will have back problems, and I attribute it to what you're seeing right here is the conventional address. So this is a biomechanical problem. Let me tell you why I call it the one mistake. I call this the one mistake because there is no biomechanical reason to hang your arms down here when you're hitting that object over here, because you're trying to hit something on the ground with a stick, right? That's the biomechanics of it. Why would I not point the stick at the object I'm going to hit? I know this is going to be common sense, a lot of it. Why would you ever hang your arm down here when you're trying to hit something over here, right? So the conventional golf swing creates a problem right here to address. It creates a biomechanical problem that I've got to solve somewhere in the swing. And people solve it. Like you see guys on TV all the time, they solve it. They solve it with lifting their feet, they rotate, they solve it, right? But the problem is most people don't practice enough. Most people don't play enough. You don't hit thousands of golf balls like the tour players. You haven't played golf since you were 5 years old. See, the average golfer out there does not have the time or the energy or the ability to spend the time to solve that problem consistently. Now, you may hit a golf ball good once in a while, sure, but to be consistent here. Okay, so what's the solution? Let me give you the solution, which is the single plane swing. Instead of hanging the arms down here, what I'm going to have you do, and I'll show you how to do this, I'm going to actually scoot you away from the ball and put your arms, see the club and the arm now are lined up. So I'm aligning the arms and the club, and there's a correct way to do this. And now, see the plane of the club? Everybody see the plane of the club? Whoever can see this, notice how the plane of the club goes under the arm, under the armpit. That is the exact same plane that I'll end up on at impact. So in other words, address and impact are the same plane. Now why is that important? Because look at my body. I didn't have to lift. I didn't have to stress my back. I can return it straight back down. Watch this. I was lucky to find this little hammer thing here. This would be exactly the same thing I would do if I was going to hammer something. Wouldn't I just hammer it in a straight line like this? Right? Wouldn't this be a nice straight linear motion? See, look at that. the hand is non-rotational now because I'm on the hammer's on the same plane as the arm. There's a non-rotational motion. Well, this club is nothing more than a 3-foot hammer. And see, now I can hammer. See that? Straight down. I know this is common sense, but people are they're learning from here, and this 2-plane position creates some major problems and makes it hard to get to the most important thing. I'm going to put this on the whiteboard. The most important thing I can do for you in this entire process is help you get to the moment of impact, right? Now, if you guys are working with instructors right now and you have some local pro that you're spending time with, at least go to him and say, just help me get to impact. All you should care about is making a motion that gets you to impact consistently, because that's what matters, is impacting consistently. Now, what I'm going to show you in the single plane swing is that everything about the single plane swing is designed to get to impact in the most simple, effective, and with speed way. So I've got to make you more consistent at impact. That right there is your goal, by the way. That is your goal. And that's going to determine whether you hit a golf ball well or not. So let's go through the single plane swing. I'm going to do it from a face-on perspective, facing you. Then I'm going to do it from a down-the-line perspective. I'm going to do it both ways. I'm going to show you the positions of the swing. And then I'm going to show you how it creates a swing plane. And why do I want to show you swing plane? Because swing plane is what gets you back to impact. But I'm going to show you how I'm doing it. Now, when you learn the conventional golf swing, you learned, how many of you, I'm going to ask this question, I don't put words in your mouth. How many of you learned to grip the club first? They said grip the club first. Put your hands on the club. How many of you learned to grip it first? Give me a 1 if you learned to grip the club first. And the thing about it is, this is what most people teach, is grip first. I think that's a mistake. And the reason I think it's a mistake is because if the most important goal here is to get to impact, why aren't we putting our body in the impact position, which then puts our arms in a position, and then we put the hands on the club after we position the body and the arms. So why aren't we addressing the body first and then placing the arms? Because now we can simplify impact with our address. So my recommendation is you learn the body position and the arm position and then the grip position, all right? And it looks like this. In the single plane swing, we have side bend, which puts our arm in front. Why do I want my arm in a line? Because that's where it's going to be at impact. We want the back of the hand to the target, because that's where the face will be at impact. And then look at the trail hand. It's under the club. Don't say it's strong, because this is a non-rotational position, just like I had that hammer, right? Because of my tilt, because of my lead arm, I call it neutral. My alignment, where I'm going to be at impact, and the trail hand in a non-rotational position, that's how I recommend the address position. Look at this as the address position. You have an alignment here. That hand's aligned to the target and the face. And my trail hand, I'm going to come a little closer to the camera, the trail hand is a non-rotational position, right? So that's our single plane address. It's not here conventional, it's alignments. Because this is exactly the alignment that'll help me get where? To impact, okay? Now, I'm going to show you what happened down the line really quick. Remember, I side bent, right? When I get the side bend in those alignments, do you see how the club now is lining up with my trail arm? That's exactly the same alignment that I'm going to have at impact, okay? So I'm creating some really important alignments, and every one of those alignments is about impact. Now, I've got to make a motion from that position in the single plane swing. What's the purpose of motion? Speed. Really? I mean, that's really the whole idea of producing motion is to produce club head speed. So now I've got to produce a motion that produces speed and gets me back to impact. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start at that position. Single plane, address and grip. I'm going to go back to the top of the backswing and I'm going to leverage the club. So this angle that gets produced is a leverage, we call it a leverage angle. That allows me to then stabilize the body and then come down and return that angle into the ball. And see now, look at the speed of this club. It can then have speed into impact. So now I'm going to leverage and release that leverage into the golf ball. And that's where I'm going to get the speed. So I go from this address position to leverage to speed, and then I'm going to release the club. So I got to release the speed, then I'm going to finish the swing, okay? So those are the basic positions of the swing. We go from address to backswing, leverage, impact, release, and finish. All right, pretty simple. Now, I'm going to explain more of that in just a minute. But based on those positions, watch this. So I start out on the impact plane. Now I go back and watch. I want you to use your imagination and kind of draw an imaginary line on the club plane, right? The shaft plane. And you're going to see that as I go back, do you see the club right there? That is on the same plane. So it goes to the same plane, goes up, watch coming down. Back to the plane, comes down, back to the plane. Watch this, back to the plane. So everywhere in my swing is referencing what? Impact. Guys, this is the most efficient way to use this body, this machine, just take this tool and strike that ball on the ground. This is it. There's no easier way. I've eliminated movement, I've eliminated rotation, I've eliminated hand rotation, and I've produced the most effective straight line ability to strike that thing on the ground. This is it. There's no easier way to use the human body to hit a golf ball than this right here. Okay, I'm showing it to you. That's why right now inside of you this golf swing exists, but you have to hit these positions correctly. That's the goal, is to hit positions correctly. So, does everybody, if anybody has any questions, I'll take a few questions now about the single plane swing, because I know some people will probably have a few questions about it.
Do you want to read chat to them, or do you want me to pull some up?
I don't know, what do you guys want to do? Do you guys have some?
We've got them on the slide. It's got 28.
Okay.
Yep. There we go.
All right, let's do a couple questions. Whoa, it's a long one. I'm in the middle of a round, hitting it reasonably straight and flush. Suddenly I start drawing and hooking my irons to the left. What causes that? After it happens, I have slowed down. So lots going on there. This doesn't seem to happen with my driver if I were to do that. Well, so in other words, you're playing a round of golf and you start hooking the golf ball. Generally what I see happen a lot is the golf ball could really only curve when you have face angle problems, right? Face angle problems. So if you have a good grip, guys, let me show you something. I probably should do this just so I just get it out of the way. Watch this. Before I answer these questions, I'm sorry I'm going to do this, but I'm just going to put a little process up here. And the reason I'm going to show you this, I got to do this really fast before I answer some more questions, because you'll understand why I'm doing this. Let me ask this question to the chat real quick. Are you guys sick of guessing at this thing? I mean, are you sick of just chasing, like that question right there is like, why do I hook it, right? Isn't it tiring to try to be guessing at this thing all the time? Like, why are you hooking it? I can solve this problem for you very quickly, because I had these same problems you're having. I'm going to show you how I solved it. You remember how earlier I said we have a model? Okay, so we got this ideal model, single plane swing, model. So in other words, I know exactly the positions you should be in. I know exactly where your hand should be. I know exactly where your body should be. I know exactly where you should be at every position of your swing. Okay, that's the model. The first thing I'm going to look at, so I want to answer your question. The first thing I'm going to look at is your what? Address and grip, right? Address and grip. Now I'm going to probably take a video of your swing, and I'm going to look at your address and grip. How are you doing? How's your arm position? How's your hand? How's your trail hand? How's your body position? How's your feet? I'm going to look at your single plane address, okay? The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the positions of your swing. The things I just showed you, the positions of your swing. So the positions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 basic places, checkpoints, positions I look for. I'll show this to you really fast. Address and grip. 1, I check that. 2, I check that. I check your change of directions. 3, check that. Impact 4, 5, 6. Those are the 6 positions I check, okay? And I can do those down the line too. Address and grip, 1, 2, plane, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? And in those positions, I'm looking at shaft plane, body position, and club face, okay? So I'm looking at positions. Number 3, if you have your address and grip and you have your positions, what do I look for? Sequence. Right? I look for your sequence. How do you put it into sequence? How do you create a motion from those positions? Now, how many of you have you heard me? Some of you might know me, but how many of you hear me talk about the braking system or how the body produces speed? It's what I call the braking system. I'm going to put this up here. So I always talk about these things together. When you sequence the body, you have what I call the brakes of the body. And then I'm going to talk about that. And then 4, speed. Now, I can't get to speed unless I have the brakes. So let's talk about this. The braking system of a swing is how the body stabilizes itself to produce motion. In other words, the positions that you put yourself in allow yourself, some parts of the body are stopping as other parts continue to move. So watch this. So from my address and grip, notice when I turn, is my trail leg moving? My trail leg's not moving. Now, but my pelvis is moving, my upper body is moving, my arms are moving, but my trail leg and foot are not moving. So this has the brakes on. It's stopped. All right? So now I can take that and it puts me in a position to where I can change directions. I'm pushing from my right leg. And guess what happens now? As I take this leverage angle and I stabilize it into this leg, look what happens to this leg. See how my foot is turned? See how the knee is slightly flexed? It is now stopped. And guess what? This one now can move. See, this one's moving around a stopped lead leg. You see how one leg is stopped so my body can move around it, and then another leg stops so my body can move around it? It's a necessary thing if I'm going to accelerate the body. Guys, give me a 1 if you're getting this, because I'm showing you how to learn this thing. This is my formula. This is how you should learn it. It'll stop all your guesswork from this point forward. So watch this. The upper body has brakes as well. You know what the upper body brakes start with? The head position. My head must stay still. It allows my body to go into a position and it creates a limit. See, you want a limit. This creates a limit and my head position creates a limit, because now I can change directions. And then when I go into this leg, it creates a limit. My head creates a limit. And guess what? My body now can accelerate. See that? Look how fast I can move because I have a limit here, and a limit here. And that allows me to accelerate. Look at my trail foot's on the ground, creating a limitation. So I can accelerate what? The most important part, my arms and my hands. And I can get consistent because the brakes allow me to be consistent where? Say it, impact. Everything is built around getting you consistent, adding speed and impact. So I cannot create the sequence I want without understanding that the braking system is created from proper positions, okay? And then I can add the speed. Now, let me answer that question that I had. I don't need to re-see it. I don't need to see it again. So you're having problems. You're becoming inconsistent on the golf course. It's somewhere in here. I would check your address and grip. And guess what? Watch my formula here. I got my green pen out. Your address and grip are great. No problem there. Okay, great. Check it off. Let's look at your swing. How's your position 1? Looks good. How's your position 2? Looks good. 3. Well, not so good on 3. You're not transitioning while you're coming over the top. Found it. 3. Right? So somewhere in this formula, go on my process. I'm going to go look at your motion and find the cause. See, this is a causal approach. C-A-U-S-A-L, causal. This is not a quick fix. This is not a guessing game. This is your solution for the rest of your life. You find the cause of your problem and then you solve that. It's based on a model. so that you'll never ever struggle again, because you'll find your problem like that and you'll solve it like that. That's it. So I'm not into guesswork. I'm not into trying to fix people. I don't do it. It's not something I do. What I do is I build people's ability to build great, consistent golf swings that are easy to fix, that if you have a problem, you can find the problem very quickly, you can solve it, and you can play great golf for the rest of your life, and it's all right here in this formula. And look, I may be the only instructor that teaches like this, because I believe that, and I'll show you some things about how the body works, but with this type of formula, this is the way golf should be taught on the onset. Because most golfers never learn this way. That's why the average male golfer, the score hasn't improved in 70 years. People have not gotten better at the game because no one's learning correctly. Matter of fact, you see my formula here. You see what I've laid out for you. This is the perfect way to learn something. Address and grip, positions, sequence, and speed, right? If I was going to teach you how to learn to dance, wouldn't you learn the positions, how to put your body into position, then learn the positions of the dance? And once you learn step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, then you put it in a sequence, and pretty soon you add some speed to it and you're dancing. But you didn't learn to dance. You learned positions first and then the dance, right? This is the way we learn. This is fundamental learning. But you know how you learn to play golf? You learned exactly backwards. You started adding speed to a club. Well, the problem with you adding speed to a club is you didn't know how to have breaks. You didn't know how to sequence. So you started building repetition around instability. And now you got a golf swing that doesn't work. That's what people do. Everybody does. I did it that way too. I had to relearn how to learn. I had to relearn how to learn and then build my golf swing back, and it works every single time. Let's go to one more question here before we go to that real quick. I struggle with how far to stand away from the ball at setup. David, we actually have a chart for this, but one of the key fundamentals, and I don't know if you're a single plane golfer or not, David, on that question, but one of the key elements to single plane golf is having clubs that fit you really well. So if your clubs fit you, and I got my clubs here, you'll notice that this club fits me, and the line angle of the club, this is an 8-iron by the way, it fits me perfectly on the ground. So this gives me the proper distance because of the line angle and the length of this club. So club fitting is a factor, and I think it's a very important factor to how far to stand from it. That's the first factor to it, is just having clubs that work really well. If you give me clubs that don't fit me well, I have the same problem. I don't know how far to stand from it because the club doesn't fit my size of body. So you want clubs that fit. So that's kind of a roundabout answer for that. But then we also have a chart that when your clubs are ideally fit for you, you should be 26 inches from a 6-iron. And we have kind of a chart for that. I won't go through every one, but we do have a model chart for how far to stand from it. Next question. So, oh, here we go.
Yeah, there you go. That's what the secret is.
What body part should I feel starts the takeaway on the... Okay, what body part is 2 questions. What body part should I feel starts the takeaway? On the downswing, do I focus on the ball or the spot where my club starts? Okay, interesting question. Okay, in the backswing, you want to initiate movement, all right? So we want to start the movement. The way I start the swing, so what's the first thing that's going to move in my backswing is I want to stabilize my body. So my first initiation, it's very subtle and you have a hard time to see it. I move into my right leg. So I move into my right leg, I stabilize, and then I start my motion. So you'll see a little bit of this, a little stabilization, and then I take my arms back. And I feel like my arms, everything works together as I take it back. So, but the first move, believe it or not, is a stabilization. I got to be stable to move. I can't just take the club back, right? I've got to get stabilized and then move. So you're going to see me initiate, then move into the backswing. I got to get stable before I start the motion. So I stabilize into the right leg. That's my initiation. I know it's subtle, but that's what I do. Second part of that question is, on the downswing, do I focus on the ball or a spot? Neither. What I want you to focus is peripherally. And I know that sounds weird. I want you swinging through the ball. I would rather have you focused on I'd rather have you kind of just barely looking at even at anything focused, be out of focus. I want you to be out of focus, looking in the direction of the ball, but not at anything. Then I want you to swing through it, right? I want you to swing through it. Never swing at anything down there. So it's swing through the golf ball looking peripherally. That's the answer to that question. It's pretty general, I know. Here's a comment and a question. Thank you for making golf enjoyable and pain-free for the last 25 years. When setting up to hit an iron, where is the ball in relation to the face of the iron? It looks like it's closer to the heel. Yeah, I want to see the ball when you set up a little on the outside. So if you look at this down the line, the ball will be slightly on the heel of the club. That's because at impact, your torso is slightly more open. So on the heel, it'll be then square. So slightly on the heel of the club, that's correct. Yeah, one more. Question, can you have too much side bend at address, and how important is the lead hip torso being slightly higher at address? Yes, you can have too much side bend at address, and you want your hips slightly higher. It's only a couple degrees of side bend of the pelvis. So you don't want to go too crazy on this, but a little bit of pelvis side bend, and we actually have a measurement of 16 degrees. But let me show you something real quick when we look at video. So notice how you see my side bend, a little bit of pelvis side bend, and obviously torso side bend. Now I'm going to go down the line and show you this. Notice from that camera line that there is no gap between my arms. See, between my arms, you see my lead arm, but you do not see a space between them, okay? So that gives me an indication of side bend. If I get too much side bend, you see how I have a space between my arms? That's too much side bend. So we don't want to see a space between the arms. So in other words, this arm's in flexion. This arm is side bent. It's not in flexion. It's a little bit, but not as much as the lead arm. No space between the arms. You just don't want to see space between the arms, okay? So we have measurables, guys. This is what I'm talking about. When I do this type of work with you, there are measurables to all of this. We want you to get it right, and you must know how to measure this stuff. It speeds up the process. So, guys, look. I'm going to show you this real quick. The biggest problem I see with golf today, and I kind of mentioned it a minute ago, is how you're learning to play the game. You've learned it backwards, and you haven't learned it in the correct order. That's why all these questions that I'm going to get tonight, there'll be 100 questions, 50 questions, I don't know how many. All the questions can be solved right here. Every one of your questions you can solve yourself if you follow my process. And I built a program over a year and a half ago. I built a program called Single Plane 30. The question that was given to me was, Todd, can you build a program? How long is it going to take to build a program that will train a person this process, train them to learn the entire swing perfectly? How much time? And I said, I need 30 days. So I built a program called Single Plane 30. It's a 30-day, I call it progressive training program. In other words, it progresses you through the process of my formula so you learn perfectly. So let's just go through the weeks here. This is week 1. Week 1, we focus mostly on address and grip. Now, one thing you're not seeing in my formula here, which is a very important part of this, is there's only one way to learn. Not only is it from doing the correct things, it's also through repetition, right? So reps, R-E-P-S. So you must do things over and over again to learn them. But you want to do the right things. You want to do the correct things. You want to match the model, right? Always. But we must repeat certain things so we learn them. So in the first week, we do lots of reps on the address and grip. I teach you a process of teaching you the proper address position, body position, and then grip position, okay? So address and grip. And then we get into the positions of the swing. The key, week 2 are the key positions. Again, I'm teaching you the key positions which create the braking system. Because positions put your body in the ability to produce brakes, and we do reps on that. Week 3, we get into the sequencing of the swing. I start teaching you how to put those brakes to work and putting motion to these positions, right? So instead of going 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, we go 2, and then 4, and then 2, and then 6. So we start putting the brakes to work and create a sequence, right? Guys, this is like learning how to dance. Exactly, right? You've never done this before. People don't know how to learn the golf swing. This is exactly how you do it. And then the 4th week, guess what? We get speed. We go hit balls. We speed. That's what we want to do, is add speed to the swing. But we can't do week 4. We cannot add speed without this. Guys, this is where you're making the mistake. Do you understand that I can take this golf club, and you guys let me ask you this in the chat. Have you ever had this experience before where you swung really easy, like you didn't hardly even do anything, and the ball just takes off, right? You're like, how did that happen, right? It's because you had ideal mechanics and fundamentals, and this guy, the club that you spent a bunch of money on, by the way, these things are not cheap, you got it to do the job for you. See, when you hit these positions correctly, this club does a lot of work. It's because it's called efficiency. It's biomechanical efficiency. And when you're biomechanically efficient, you got lots of speed without even trying. But if you don't hit these positions correctly, you don't have it. And you fight, and if your club's out of position, you're working way too hard, right? Way too hard. So that's my single plane through the program. Here's the beautiful thing about the program. One of the most important things I can give to you as a coach is accountability. I need to keep you accountable to the training. In other words, you have to do the training to get good at it. Without doing it, you're not going to get better. Watching me on video is not going to make you better. Watching me teach you, it's not going to. I can show you this all day long unless you do it. So what I do in the single point 30 is every single day, you wake up and I send you a module. It's a daily accountability module. In other words, it's your training for the day. How cool is that, really? I mean, I know that when I work with trainers and my coaches, the most important thing they do for me is they tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. I don't know what to do. Tell me what to do. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do every single day. That's the accountability modules. I'm also going to give you coaching support for the time you're in the program. So inside Single Plane Academy, which I was talking about joining, inside the academy, we coach you. Once a week, we get on and answer your questions, just like I'm doing tonight in the program. If you're actually subscribed to the program and you're actually enrolled in the program, we coach you through it. We're there to support you, and we have a coach's corner where you can ask questions. You can see some examples here on the screen. You can post videos, and they can't post videos, sorry. Videos have to go through another program. But you can post pictures of your setup, pictures of your positions, and the coaches will coach you inside the space. That's in the coach's corner. Now, guys, just to give you some idea of what I charge, you guys probably don't want to know what I charge to travel and work with students, but programs like this that are this highly trained in the stuff we do in this program, this guy, let me ask you this before I show you the price. What would it be worth to you if I could change the way you play golf for the rest of your life and make you a better golfer? You never have to worry about solving your problems again. All your problems were solved, and you're playing the best golf of your life. What's that worth to you? It's worth thousands of dollars. It could be worth hundreds of thousands. People have called me and said, Todd, I would pay you $100,000 to hit a golf ball like you. And I'm saying, you can. You can absolutely hit a golf ball like I do if you'll go through this process. Well, I put this program together. The 30-day program, we're going to charge $649 for. The accountability has some value, keeping you accountable to the program. The live coaching support, that's the time of the coaches and me. There's some value in that, over $1,000. But what I did is I put this program together. I want it to be affordable for everybody. So we charge $297. That's the value of this program. You're going to pay $297 to get everything you need to play the best golf of your life. I've always said that this is the last golf lesson you're ever going to need. So this is a $300 golf lesson for the rest of your life. It's the cheapest golf lesson you'll ever had. And I always tell people, no one spent more money on golf on me. This is a bargain. Now, I'm going to give you something too, because after you go through the program, you're going to want to take it to the course. I developed a way to, once you get through the whole process, how to continue to add speed with my Power Generation Masterclass. I'm going to give you my masterclass. It's a $500 value. I'm going to give that as a bonus for signing up to the program. If you guys are interested, it's gravesgolf.com/deadline. Here's why it's a deadline. The program started today. It already started. If you hop in right now, you can get tomorrow's training and start right away and get the dress and grip. You don't want to wait a week, because if the next program starts next month, you don't want to wait another month. We start this program at the beginning, the first Monday of every month. So the program has just started. You need to hop in now. That way you can start the program and get through this month and get going on the program. So gravesgolf.com/deadline. Is that in the chat too as well? Okay, here's a question. From Frank, I have back pain. Let me show you how the single plane swing solves your back pain problem. You remember when I talked about the conventional swing? Here's what creates back pain. So you have your upper body and lower body. And when all golf swings have rotation, right? Every good golf swing has rotation, whether it's a single plane swing or a conventional two plane swing. But the problem with, nothing's wrong with rotation, but when you basically are in two planes and your body pushes up and the upper body goes down, you have the upper body going down, you have the lower body moving up, and you get compression. And back pain is from when you have compression and rotation. It's called shear. So when you swing a golf club and you have one part moving up and one part moving down and rotation, you get shear in the golf swing. That's what the conventional golf swing does. Well, guess what? You remember how in the single plane swing, since I have the proper address from the ball, proper distance, I no longer have the upward motion. So I no longer have the compression. And without the compression, I don't get the shear, I don't get the back pain. And the other thing about the single plane swing is because we don't move up, we stabilize with a lead knee that's stable and bent, not straight. See that? See when I straighten the leg, how it pushes up? That's compression. See, look at this, it's bent, no compression. Still stable, just no compression. We can do that because we have the proper spacing from the ball. So that's how we save the back. We save it from eliminating the compression, and we save it from taking the lead knee and taking the hit on the lead knee, which is the strongest part of your body, is the lead leg. It's the greatest part. I love just hitting the golf ball into that lead leg because it's so solid and so stable. A good question here. If I can't do the training every day, it's okay to miss a day or two of the training. You can always catch up. Guys, the training modules are about 20 minutes. Now, I recommend doing a couple times a day, all right? But they're only 20-minute training modules. So you're gonna do the training in the morning, you may do it again in the afternoon, but they don't take long to do. If you miss a day, you can catch up and do a couple extra training modules. It's just repetitions. Okay, here's a quick question. Loving the single plane swing, the address is great for launching the driver, but the ready to launch address for shots from the fairway feels almost counterintuitive, making it difficult for me to take a divot. Here's what you got to be careful of. A lot of people, the only difference between a driver and hitting an iron is stance width and ball position. So setup's the same, the swing's the same. But look at this. Let me just go through the iron here. So this is a 6 iron I have in my hand. Look at the width of my stance, all right? And I want you to, and the ball position is 5 inches is on my lead foot. Now, I want you to look at something here. Look at where my hands are and look at where my head is. Look where my lead shoulder is. When I swing the club from this position, I naturally have that shaft angle. That shaft angle is what compresses the ball. See that? That's that natural shaft angle. I'm not trying to get shaft angle. I'm not trying to hit down on the ball. My body position is creating a downward motion because of my stance width, where my hands are, where my head is, and where the ball is, okay? So that's a 6 iron. Watch this though. If I grab a driver and I put it on a tee, now I'm not gonna change my swing at all, okay? No change of my swing. But the driver is now on a tee. The stand, look, and it's more forward, it's my lead foot, and my stance is wider, okay? So now I got a driver. Now look over my head. See how far behind the golf ball it is? When I swing the club now and I come down into impact, you'll notice that I'm way behind the golf ball. And now look, my hands they're not as far in front. I don't have this lean in the shaft. So now it strikes slightly on the upward motion. Same exact swing, except because of my stance width, the position of where my head is now, and the ball position, I hit more upward on the ball. So I'll grab a wedge. And look at my stance width. It's more narrow. Look at the position of my head. I naturally hit more down on it. See that? Just from the position of my body. So you got to get your stance width and ball position right. That's why I have this trainer on the ground. This is our alignment ball position trainer. That's mandatory, but the swing never changes. It's simply a different length of club, different plane, and different amount of shaft lean that you need. So if you're having trouble hitting your irons, you're just getting probably too wide and your ball position is too far forward, something like that. It's probably something simple like that.
Question from chat. You need to repeat it so
Say it again.
How long should I practice before I retake single plane 30 again?
So single plane 30, guys, we launched single plane 30. The question is, how long should I practice? So somebody's already been through single plane 30 once. So somebody went through single plane 30. They asked the question, now how long should I practice before I take it again? If it's me, look, the modules are 20 minutes. I train single plane 30 every single month. This isn't. I think we got to be careful of something here. This is not a one and done class. This is like me going to the gym and having a workout routine that keeps me in shape. So you don't go one time to the gym and go, okay, now I got them in shape. You go to the gym and you have a routine and you lift weights and you work on upper body, then lower body, or whatever it is, whatever your routine is that keeps you in shape. That routine keeps you in shape, right? Everybody, give me a 1 if you understand that. That's how you get in shape. You consistently do things over and over again. You don't do it one time and go, I got it. No, you stay in shape. This is a program that keeps you in shape. You could take it every month. It's going to be great for you. You can take it every other month. Great. Take it 3 times a year. Great. Take it once a year. Probably not going to be enough. I mean, guys, look, this is my keep in shape program. You get you in shape, keeps you in shape. This is all you need to do. So learn the program and then take it again. And then wait a couple months, take it again. I don't know if I know the answer to that. I mean, I would do this until you know it so well that you just got it. You shouldn't need the program anymore because it's part of your lifestyle, right? I'm giving you a lifestyle here. I'm giving you a solution. Here's a question. After doing single plane 30, month of June, okay, doing 100 swings per day, my left forearm shoulder is sore. Left arm is sore. To this, specifically going from position 4 to 5. When the arm straightens out after impact, okay? Am I doing something wrong? Again, I would be looking at your position. So 4 to 5, and again, I would have to see what your positions are. I think you probably, if you're feeling pain, you might be doing something wrong. But when you go to position 4, and then watch when I go to position 5, this lead arm, see, it goes from external rotation, so this is external rotation, and then it goes this direction, it folds. So it goes this direction. So if it's not folding, you may be getting some stress on it. You got to let that arm fold so this arm can straighten. So again, it's position training. It's going to 4, then 5, and then 6. It's learning how to hold these positions. Here's the thing, guys, watch this. I'm going to put something out there for you. Watch me do this real fast. I'm going to go through every position. I'm going to hold every position of the swing. All right. So I'm going to go through address and grip. I'll do a 5-second hold. I'm going to hold position 1. Hold position 2. Hold. I'm going to transition, stabilize. Hold position 3. I'm going to hold position 4. Then I'm going to go hold position 5. I'm going to finish position 6. Okay, so I just held every position perfectly. I've done that thousands, if not tens of thousands of times. Every position I hit was absolutely perfect. I've done it so many times, I can hit those positions in my sleep. They're in my brain. It's a program in my subconscious because I've done it over and over again. Notice how I stopped each position. Now I'll do it without stopping in position 1. I'm going to go from 0, address and grip, to position 2. I'm going to hold. I'm going to go to position 4. I'm going to go to 6. Now I'm going to go to position 2 to position 6. I'm going to hold. So you notice that I can, on command, go to every single position and swing perfectly, right? Give me a 1 on that, right? Give me a 1 on that. Now, if you can't do what I just did, there is not a program in your brain. So how can you expect to go to the course, make a full speed motion, try to hit a golf ball, and expect to be any good at it if you don't have a program in your brain? This is fundamental training, and I'm teaching you this. So the reason I'm good at hitting a golf ball is because I have trained those positions so solidly that I can hit them in my sleep. And I've done that through what I just showed you. I showed you just now. Watch this. If you walked up to me and if I was walking across the room, Todd, show me impact, the most important position, I'll do this. I'll show you impact. Perfect. Every time. I will not miss this position. It'll be absolutely perfect. Trail arm bent, lead arm wind up, body rotated, side bend of the body, arm inflection. Perfect. Bang. I don't have to know these things. I just got to know how to hit the position. My body knows this because I've been there so many times. I know exactly how to get to impact every time. Okay, so I'm showing you right now how to develop a swing perfectly by going through the positions and training yourself and reprogramming your brain. This is a reprogramming formula. That's what it is. I don't believe in quick fixes. I don't even like my YouTube channel. You guys probably find me on YouTube. I don't like YouTube because people jump in and watch some video about me talking about something that's not even relevant to them and they think it's going to fix their swing forever. This is fundamental. This is how you get better. Till the day I die, I'll be teaching. There will be no easier process. Unless I can program you by plugging you into a light switch, this will be the way you have to get better. It's the only way to do it. There's no other way. Here's another question. The question is, at what position in the swing should I train to lift my right heel 4 or 5? Thank you for the answer. Here's where I recommend lifting the foot. So I want to show you guys one thing real quick. Biomechanics. I promise you a little bit of biomechanics. Those of you guys who are kind of into this, let me show you. I want you to basically, if you're going to add speed to the body, I want you to I want you to rotate as much as you can. It's going to sound weird, right? The way you do this is you learn the positions of the swing, you learn how to stabilize the body correctly, and then you learn how to accelerate and rotate as much as you can around those built-in limitations. So watch what I do, and then I'll show you why the foot comes up. So you'll notice that I'm going to go to the top of my backswing around my trail leg. I'm going to stabilize, transition into the lead leg. I'm going to rotate into impact. I'm going to get to impact. My lead leg is stable. My trail heel is on the ground. I'm going to continue rotating, but look what happened. With that foot on the ground, with that knee flexed, I can only go so far. My body only can go so far. I'm limited. So I'm rotating as much as I can, but I'm limited. So I don't want to stop rotation. I just have built-in limitations. Lead foot, lead knee, trail foot, limitation. Now because of that, my arms can accelerate. See that? My arms can accelerate. So I get acceleration. And then once I get to right here, when my rotation is complete, I can lift the foot. So I want to make sure that limitation is there until the rotation is complete. So I want to make sure I get all acceleration out before I let the limitation up. Does that make sense? So usually what I want to see is about right here, when the arms are right at shoulder height, I can see the foot then lift up. But that's after the rotation is complete. Makes sense, right? I want to get all the speed out of my body before I lose my stability. Oh, we're giving away a single point 30. So Ray Corbett from Grand Sandbury, Ontario, you have been awarded a certificate to join us in single point 30. We will send you a link to get in there. Guys, let me explain this. We're also giving away a level 3 membership. A level 3 membership is you get to work with our coaches online, send them videos to look at your swing for a year. So a level 3, it costs $1,000. We're giving away a level 3 membership to Lou Kelly of Leesburg, Florida. Congratulations, Lou, on winning a 1-year level 3 membership to work with our coaches. That's a big deal. Congratulations on that. Put the link back up. Okay, one more time. Guys, hop in with me in July. This is the single point 30 package. You're getting the entire course for $2,000, the Power Generation Masterclass. Obviously, me as your coach for $297. Go to gravesgolf.com/deadline. Join me in the program. When are we cutting that off? We're letting people in. Are we cutting it off after tonight?
I mean, when do you think is the last day that it could be effective?
I mean, tomorrow. If you got in tomorrow, you could get the first weekend, but if you miss the first week, you probably ought to start next month.
We need to push one on it.
So we'll keep it open for tomorrow. So you guys got gravesgolf.com/deadline. Tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening, we're going to cut the link off, and we're going to everybody have to start in the next month if you want to join next month. So if you want to get into July and get this thing going, hop in with us, and we'll get you started tomorrow if you hop in before the deadline. So that's good?
Yep.
More questions? Okay. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time in Plain Talk.